Hey, this is Ben, and today I'm going over a game I just played on lichess. My opponent is lichess Beggy, rated 1930. My name's Juxtaposition, and I'm 2069. So I think I'll just put it on autoplay slow and talk about the moves. I played the modern. I usually play the perk, but I decided to play bishop g7 before knight f6 in this one. My opponent plays the f4, so it's called the Austrian in the perk. Um, and the idea is basically getting a big pawn center and maybe storming with pawn to e5 to push that knight on f6 somewhere awkward. But I still develop my knight to f6 because I'm attacking the center, hitting their e4 pawn. Bishop d3 is a little bit unconventional because you don't know if you want the bishop on c4 or e2. So usually it's just knight c3 for white there. But my opponent decides to put the bishop on d3, which is a little committal, but not a big deal. I strike in the center with c5, which could have been taken advantage of e5, and then my knight gets pushed away, as I just mentioned. But d5 is a mistake on his part because c4 forces the bishop away from guarding his center. So that's why knight c3 should have been inserted. Okay, so I take the center pawn. Queen e2. Now I made a little inaccuracy. Apparently queen b6 check, king h1, bishop b2 is a lot better. That's winning material. So I just bring the knight back to f6. And I like my position because his e4 pawn is gone. And I feel like his bishop on c4 is a little awkward. It's blocked in by his d5 pawn. And it's soon going to be pushed back even further by knight b6. Because on b3, what is this bishop really even doing? It has no squares that my knight can't just chop it off. So that's why I played that. I just developed my bishop to d7 because I wanted to put my rook on c8, kind of like in the Sicilian. I used to play the Najdorf a lot, so... But this is like the dragon, because I'm fianchettoed on the king side, and I'm hitting his c3 knight. And this seemed like a good moment to chop off the knight. Doubling his pawns, getting some initiative. I've been watching some Ginger GM videos, and he says don't always go by the computer analysis. Sometimes go by what feels right, what feels easier to play, within reason. And 94 this position seems a lot easier to play for me. My minor pieces are more active, and now I just won some material because I take it back with check. And now my knight on e4 hops into c3, hitting his rook and queen, forking those two pieces. He can take e7, which he does. But now bishop b5 attacks both rooks. So he's going to lose one rook back. And let's see, I have 6 pawns and he has 6, but my position is just a lot better. Mostly because his bishop on b3 is locked out of the game. But also because his king's a little bit weaker with that pawn on f4 rather than f2, so g3 and his dark squares are weak. I remove the queen from my territory and then bring my own queen in very soon. But first I hit his rook and knight at the same time. And I saw that after rook e1, I can't just take his knight doubling his pawns. I have to attack his rook one more time. And this is just awkward for him. The computer analysis says down 2 points. And I take the knight. My queen is just so ready to come into f2. And my rook is looking at e2. But if I play rook e2 check now, rook g2 just blocks. So I kind of want to do some threats first. Like now I'm hitting f3. h5 is apparently good here, drawing his queen away from f4. b5 was just a move to emphasize the fact his bishop can't go to c4 or a4. Check, and he has to move his king here, otherwise he loses more material. And I really want to play something like queen e2, but he can always block with rook g2, so I saw this as... He had to move his rook on the first rank, because moving it up just loses his exchange. King h2, bishop e5 check. So rook g1, bishop g1. Now he does take g6 here, and I could have mated him by just moving my bishop back, but I played a safe move, h takes g6, and now he doesn't have any checks. If he plays queen takes g1, I play rook all the way down. So he loses his queen in that line, but instead rook e2 check is just leading to mate. If his king comes up, I have things like queen e1 or bishop h2, and he's just losing that position. So thanks for watching. Hope it was interesting. All right, bye.